In EFS, there are lots of different ways that faculty approach the assignments that they give to the students. The thing that Paula does so amazingly well is that she brings a lot of theory and ideas to students about big issues such as work, power, education. Rather than illustrating the idea, they're living it through the way she structures her assignments.
The assignment is called Se Habla Español that I developed throughout the first year design studios. And it was a class that was taught in my native language, which is Spanish. So I gave them the first day of class a Spanish-English dictionary and this manual of instruction, this handout with 50 assignments, and they had to develop the work. None of my students were Spanish speakers. So it was not really about the Spanish, but about what that entitled.
When it's in Spanish, not only does it convert what the prompt is asking, but you're able to use certain aspects and different translations of the instruction to make it into your own piece and kind of bend the rules.
Every week you'd have to translate like 4 or 5 assignments and figure out how you're going to do them. And when you get to the 50th one, it tells you that you have to go back to the beginning and do them all again. So it becomes this kind of investigation, and it was making us question the meaning of everything we were doing.
And we also have another part of the entire assignment that's essays and readings that helps you self-reflect. It influenced me as a person.
There's a really vast range of assignments, things that were from drawing to video to net artwork, translating a Zapatista speech from Subcomandante Marco to tighten themselves to a rope and an object for 7 days, to walking in the museum and observing one piece for 35 minutes without moving. You can call it experimental just because we're testing things, but it's more because it's experiential. There's assignments about social practice and volunteering work for weeks. There's other assignments that ask them to follow a stranger for 24 hours and document all their actions. And those are things that doesn't exist. They're immaterial sort of work. And sort of start finding knowledge in an everyday life.
My favorite assignment was probably Ode to Light. I loved making those videos. Just paying attention to super small things and the idea of making a tribute to those things.
My favorite one was the dictionary one. We had to create a piece with a dictionary. So I engraved a quote from the first reading. This is the oppressor's language, yet I needed to talk to you. It helped me explore my post-colonial identity.
The reading around the kind of historical narrative or the theoretical narrative or the pedagogical narrative, it comes about as part of the exercise. It doesn't lead the exercise.
Going through each individual prompt, we start to discuss a lot about forgotten, indigenous peoples, and start to move into a discussion of post-colonialism and leaving behind the traces of other cultures without going back to reflect on them. Not only in societal terms, but also in the art world. A lot of the overall process was learning about these other cultures, learning about other techniques and art movements, and then fostering it into your own techniques.
I have more freedom in the way I create because you have to move on and go to the next assignments. There's a rhythm to it. So you get a lot of bold decisions. All my assumptions of good or proper artistic process washed away.
What I love about Paula's course is the way it really functions on a kind of meta level and getting students to question some of the assumptions they bring, not only to the teacher-student relationship, but also how they're made to be active participants, to become responsible for their own learning. Constantly thinking about thinking and making and the intersection of the two.
Every assignment is a wild card. You never know what you're gonna get. I just started coming up with ideas faster, and instead of mulling them over and thinking, is this good, is this bad, will my teacher like it? I just try it and see what becomes of it and just not staying in what I'm good at. And I feel that's at the core of foundations here where we're really supposed to experiment. And this class gave us so many chances to experiment.
We had occasional crits about every 2 weeks. I took the comparison aspect of the crit as a chance to look at other approaches to the same prompt. It's a lot of helping each other out.
Learning to drive yourself as an artist is hard to obtain when you hit a roadblock, and having to go to 50 teaches you how to maintain a creative level throughout the entire thing. I think that's important for any artist, how to continue creating, making work.
I was really scared. Yeah, I called my mom. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fail this class. But then I got really excited. So I just started thinking, how am I gonna approach this problem? How am I going to navigate this barrier that's been put in front of me? And then it became really exciting.
At the first day, I was so confused why she is speaking in Spanish, making us do like these very meaningless and absurd assignments. So I thought like, how is that gonna help me grow as an artist? But like, it actually helped me a lot because this is more self-driven. In our future career, we have to plan out what we are gonna do by ourselves, and maybe it's inspired by one statement and we have to make it into a presentable artwork.
And there were no deadlines, which further deconstructs the idea of like traditional schooling. That was pretty different. You have to balance quality and quantity to find your pace of working. It's about time management for sure.
And so that moment of translating and slowing down was for me also a moment for them to like free themselves. I already came in with breaking the basic assumption that this class will be in English. So if we break the sort of basic assumption, then all the assumptions can be broken. In a way, we were asking at the very end, the ways that we know, the ways that we learn. It was sort of a very self-reflective process about what is art, what is design, and also what is education.